Wow.
Welcome, everyone, back to the Castlevania Ravenloft RPG. I'm your host, Zombie Mac. No. Sorry, I'm in podcast mode for some reason. We will not have Logan with us tonight, I don't believe. But we do have Mark playing Mr. Jeeves, the butler.
Hello.
The scaly-skinned, toothless, wall-crawling, roguish butler. We have Alexandra Belmont, played by April, the Scourge Whip-wielding Hunter of the Night. And then we have Elias Asher, played by Brent. And he is a paladin of God.
I was gonna say, you just gave him, like, the worst intro out of all of us. You made everybody epic, and then it's just like, okay, here's a lot.
Whatever.
Well, I'm mostly a cleric, but yeah, I'm a stubborn religious nut, and everybody hates to have me around.
You are not a nut. Out of everybody that has mental conditions at the end of, in this end part of the game, I think you have the least amount of mental issues.
I won't take no for an answer.
Well, that's true. You do
I
have
had that once.
You do have that character flaw. And for a cleric, that's extra creepy. But Jack's already made that joke in the past.
Oh
so.
man, let's not go there again. I think Hugo made that joke too.
It's an understandable joke to make. Yes, so today I have been hearing thunderstorms while I work all day, and it's really got me in the mood to play some Ravenloft setting here. I came home from work and it was all misty and cloudy where I was at, so it's perfect, man. It's a perfect setting. So I thought I'd make it rain in Barovia right now. A gentle rain is following. You hear rolling thunder in the background occasionally, but you have made it up from or down, I guess, from the mountains previously, because last week when we joined our adventurers, we had seen them exit where they had slain Strahd von Zarovich himself, who was protecting a fane by an underground river, which gave him certain powers. It allowed him to be immune to running water, to be able to cross that like some vampire, or all vampires can't really do. But you purified that site after slaying Strahd himself. The earth quaked and you guys emerged from that place victorious. At that point, Jack said kind of a farewell to you, as he said his source of magic, that which gives him his power, he needed to research that. So he is taking a break from the party, and at a bad time to do so, because it wasn't until directly after that you fought a dragon-sized bird that had taken two of you down, Mr. Jeeves and Elias, had stricken you unconscious, took off with the horse and cart. A hort is a horse and a cart, if you just want to abbreviate in the future. All you have to say is hort. It took off with the hort, and it ate half of the hort, the juicy half, with legs. Also, Van Richten and Esmeralda were taken off, literally, in the claw and down into the mists, down the mountain, with Van Richten rolling down because he slipped at the edge. But Mr. Jeeves was kind enough to go and rescue them, even though Alexandra was more inclined to flee for her life.
Nope.
Understandable, you gotta survive. But you guys have made it down from the mountain. All three of you are awake now. You've traveled the Old Svalich Road to the familiar village of Vallaki, where at the gates you're greeted by guards that are usually posted at these this walled city. It has these, it's basically sharpened tree trunks that are all tied together, and it fortifies the largest settlement here that you've found in Barovia. The guards are familiar with you, however, Mr. Jeeves, the guards are giving you a look as if they don't recognize you at all with your friends here. And they see Alexandra's eyes are black and starry, as if all of space was contained behind her gaze.
Yes.
as you approach these guards and you're getting these looks, you're suddenly very aware, Mr. Jeeves, that your skin has all turned to green scales, and your smile isn't as good as it used to be because all your teeth have fallen out.
Right. I look very snakish, I'm sure.
Yes. So before you approach these guards and begin to speak with them, requesting access, what would you like to do?
Well, Alexandra's going to rip a little bit of the lining of her jacket and tie it in a nice little blindfold that's thin enough for her to see through, but not enough for anybody to be able to see her eyes.
Well, there is a part of your garment that is lacy, and the lace itself is pretty transparent. It's very expensive, but if you would like to use that in that fashion, you could probably fashion a blindfold from that.
Yep.
What color is that?
It's like a dark, tarnished gold, almost brassy.
Okay. So it matches your hair quite nicely, or complements it at least.
It's darker than her hair.
How about you, Elias and Mr. Jeeves? What are you doing?
Phew, I'm not sure there's much I can do to hide the skin. So I'll just act as non-threateningly as possible.
Well, I have nothing really physical to hide anyway, so I'm just going to walk in like normal.
When Alexandra saved all of the things that had been carried around from falling with the cart, or the, what do we call it? The
Hort.
The hort? Yes. When the hort was thrown over the edge of the cliff and the rock chased it, Alexandra was wise enough to grab all of everyone's items off of it before they pushed it over. Some of Jack's belongings were offloaded as well because he was carrying all of the wealth for the party. He has superhuman strength at the moment, and when you guys got all of that from him, he likes to travel light now that he can turn into a raven and go where he needs to go, and he can't really carry all those things with him except for the cloak that he wears. So, Mr. Jeeves, you know that he has a disguise kit, and you think that you could get a use out of that might help, or if you don't want to use the disguise kit, you can just try to let everyone know that you're not a monster.
That's a good point. So am I sure that they've seen me yet?
Yeah, the guards can see you from a distance.
Okay, but they're okay.
There's several
yeah.
on the approach to the guard post. There are several smaller outhouses where people store horses and things as they come up there. Things that don't need to be walled within the city. These are places that you think that people leave during the night hours and only occupy during the day. So people have seen you up to this point, but the guard you're not as close to the guards to where you can talk to them yet. You'd have to approach a little further.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take a couple of minutes to try and apply more human-like skin color to my face.
Sure.
Not any false teeth.
Go ahead and roll a d20.
Yikes.
Not very good.
I'm out of practice.
Mirrors are hard to come by here, and you think that probably would have been done better if you had more practice doing this sort of thing, and could see yourself.
Can anyone try to help it?
Yeah, someone else can try if you'd like to assist. Just roll a d20 and.
Wow, that was worse.
Wow.
That was worse.
Okay.
Never mind. Alex is not doing this.
What about the paladin?
Go ahead, Elias.
Well, you're looking pretty horrifying at this point now. You've actually made it worse. Your intimidation
Elias, please
would
fix
be
this.
Increased by this, I think.
So, need another d20?
Yeah.
Would you like to try to apply some sort of disguise?
Oh, wow.
Wow.
We are
Okay.
not doing well with this.
Yeah.
Alright.
And no one can really seem to get the knack of this. So You guys do your best to like wipe off the damage that you've done to his
Are there any,
face.
like, are there any like burlap sacks in here? I can just like wear a sack. Little eye holes.
If that's what you would like to do, absolutely, you can do
I
that.
think that might be less intimidating.
I think it would be terrifying to see someone like with a sack head walking around, but hey,
Yeah.
Okay.
it's not
All
like
right.
the scarecrows in this land come together because they're full of. You've been there, but
Yeah.
sure, if that's what you'd like to do, is cut some holes in the burlap sack there.
I guess I could try. I guess I could try going stealthy.
We could just pull his collar up a little bit higher than normal and try to arrange his hair to hide most of his face.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Okay, so you approach the guards, and
I've seen if I have a hat.
you can tell that they look just as miserable as you've ever seen them here at the gates, especially with the rain, and there was an earthquake not too long ago that they don't understand.
Do we recognize them at all from previous?
Not these guards. You usually approach from the other gate, and there were some folks over on that side that you were getting to know just a little bit more better.
Okay.
But on this side of town, no one here is someone you can recognize, which is kind of odd. It's not a large village. They don't have a ton of guards, but these guards are unfamiliar to you. However, you've managed to amass a bit of renown in the town. There were even parade days meant for you to be the center of attention. But you've always managed to kind of get out of those events. Good luck in the very near future if you'd like to get out of that. So the guards see you approach if you'd like to approach.
Indeed.
Well, if we all look different enough, they may not recognize us. And they wouldn't be able to celebrate our arrival.
Well, aside from Alex's eyes, which she has cleverly hidden right now, Elias doesn't look any different. So.
Yeah, that's too bad. I think he would be. He wouldn't look as good as he did before, but no, about the same.
Slightly more rapey, I guess. But, other than that, great.
More what?
Nothing. I'm sorry. It was a terrible joke that's been made too much. I said rapey, because you won't take no for an answer. But
That's what I thought you said. All right.
But honestly,
Yeah.
though, it was an increase, a permanent increase to your charisma, correct? So
Yeah.
it actually assists you in conditions like this because you have an air of confidence and a commanding demeanor. You put the word of God into the ears of people, and they listen. You are someone who exudes personality, and whenever you walk into a room now, you're a commanding focus. So not only are you the least deformed, you are also enhanced to take care of a situation like this.
One thing we never really explored. It was supposed to take some effect when I walked through the fire gate thing. It left a significant mark on Van Richten's arm, but we didn't say what it might have done to Elias.
That's true.
So I don't know if he looks exactly like he did before or not because of that. If it did that much to Van Richten that he made a point to show it to him, I don't know if he looks any different or not.
No, you're fine. You're fine in the ways of not being scarred by fire. I mean,
Okay.
physically. We all know emotionally, your parents and all that. Sorry to bring that painful memory up.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's just get in there and see what happens.
All right, so you approach the guards, and they say, "Hail, who goes?"
Travelers passing by, we would like some rest at the inn.
Go ahead and roll a persuasion check.
Sure. Let's see. Add the lucky stone.
See if it doubles your rolls again tonight.
Cool.
Even with a low roll, Elias, you find that the guards regard you kindly. They say, "Do you have any Vistani with you?"
No, we do not.
Then welcome
We
to the village of Valaki, and he orders them to open the gates. And they do. They allow you to go ahead and enter. The first thing that you see, aside from some of the bigger houses here, towards this edge of the village, there is St. Angel's Church. You remember the brother of the Baron's wife. The Baroness's brother is the preacher there. You had interactions returning the bones to that church. If you'd like to continue on in, what's your first stop here in Valaki?
I figured we were going to the Blue Water. That's on the other side of town, though.
Sure.
Freaking mosey.
Everybody good with that?
Yep.
All right. Well, you make your way down the street, and a couple of people do actually recognize you as you're making your way in town. These people look like you guys are kind of becoming part of their village. So the people that do recognize you nod to you warmly, actually, compared to the way Valaki has treated you in the past. However, when they see Mr. Jeeves with you, in his sack with eye holes cut into it.
Oh, I thought we went without sack. Sorry.
Oh.
he decided against.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
so
sinister.
we got through the guards sackless. Okay, I didn't understand that completely, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr.
We'll say he was hiding or something.
Mr. Jeeves, go ahead and roll a perception check.
Okay.
I
There we
swear
go.
to God, if that fat
Yes,
kid is hiding,
that's
in one of the street corners
exactly-
ready to.
It's exactly what Mr. Jeeves sees. Mr. Jeeves, you see that kid that was throwing rocks at you while you were in the what do you call it when you put somebody's hands and head?
Shackles?
The stockade.
The stockade, yeah. When you were in the stockade, that kid that was throwing rocks at you catches a glimpse of you and looks completely terrified.
Payback's a bitch.
I'm just gonna slowly turn to stare at him and then scream in my loudest voice.
Okay.
That's probably not a good idea.
It's like, sorry, couldn't resist.
At least he didn't hit him. I was worried about that.
Alexander swats Jeeves sharply on the shoulder. What's wrong with you?
Yes, the boy instantly hightails it, man. He is running as if his life depends on it because he thinks it does.
I was gonna stand and laugh.
Goodbye, little rotund child.
And Elias says, so much for not drawing any attention to ourselves.
Oy.
Indeed.
Alexander face bombs.
All right. Well, everyone approaches the Blue Water Inn on this rainy day. It looks as it always has, and you enter through the doors. It's open at this hour. You see a few patrons here. You see two people that you haven't seen in a long time, and they are two gruff wolf hunters. I don't know if you remember them or not.
Yeah, vaguely.
Yes, both of these fellows are sitting at a table not too far away. They're lined in wolf furs. Looks like they have skinned many wolves, used their fur and their leather to make their clothes. And these gentlemen are minding their own business at one end of the bar, enjoying a glass of wine between them. I mean, one each. That would be kind of weird if they were sharing one glass of wine. You know what I mean?
Pass it here.
Yeah. Everyone drink from the same glass.
Communal cup.
Mm-hmm. Danica Martikoff welcomes you warmly. Oh yes, my friends, welcome. Come on in. Welcome back. Do you bear good news? And she instantly begins grabbing glasses and gets a bottle of wine. No, she pours from the keg straight from the tap into the cups, and she's going to offer, whether you take them or not, each of you a glass of wine.
Alexandra needs one at this point.
We do have good news. Where is your husband?
And she looks over her shoulder and yells out whatever her husband's name is. It's
Erwin.
Erwin, yes, with an U. That's what was throwing me off. Erwin, we have company. And Erwin comes out of the back. He was obviously in the kitchen. And he says, our old friends.
Yes, I would like to share something quite amazing with you, but let's keep our voices down. Strahd has been defeated.
Yeah, how close are you when you say this to them? Because it's going to bring looks from everyone in here. I wasn't quite finished describing some of the other patrons. It is on the busy end of a morning.
I want to tell them privately, or at least so that other people won't hear us.
Sure, okay. So you approach the bar and take a stool and lean in closer to Erwin and give him this news. And you see his face light up, and he says, like, what do you mean? The Devil Strahd he's unbeatable. He's the lord of this land. I've never heard of anyone defeating him. Is he dead? What do you mean, defeat? How can you kill what is
Alexandra
already
takes
dead?
the whip from her side and places it on the countertop with her hand curled around it and just smiles.
I can confirm with you that he has essentially burned to ash. He is no more. He tried to transform into a monster after we had fought him, but he could not do so because of the sunlight of this whip, you see. I thought he was unbeatable myself, but as he was trying to escape, we stopped him and destroyed him.
Are you still speaking privately, or is there a chance here? Okay. So he nods Danica over, and he says, my love, I believe it's happened. I think that the curse may be lifted from this land. Our friends here say that they have slain Strahd himself. And Alexandra can kind of just feel burning a hole in her pocket, the fangs of Strahd that she had taken from his defeated corpse.
She has his heart too.
Well, that's kind of gross, but sure. I don't know if you want to show that at dinner parties or anything.
Nope.
But Danica says that it cannot be. Is this...
Alexandra takes the fangs out of her pocket and slaps them on the counter.
And they both just like gasp and take a step back, and they say, we have met more adventurers than you could possibly count. Get lost in these mists. And we help when we can, but we've been met with disappointment for so long that no one would be strong enough to get the job done. And yet, the other day, when the earth quaked, we looked up to the sky and saw sunbeams escaping through some of the clouds and thought there may be hope.
Well, to that end, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I know this is excellent news, but I can't say that the curse has been lifted yet. I think there may be still more to do in the castle.
Our family and our descendants, we come from a land far away that no other people here have known. It's called Ireland. I don't know if that's in the world that you came from, because it seems that the mist grabs people from places that we've never heard before. We've seen creatures come here that are only spoken of in folklore. And it would please us greatly if you could give us the news that these mists have been lifted from the land.
We have no intention of leaving here until the mists do dissipate.
Well, we can't leave here until the mists dissipate.
Did Strahd's defeat bring the end of the mists that trap us all?
Unfortunately, it would seem not just yet anyway.
I can't speak for that in certainty because I have not checked the outskirts of Barovia, but I don't feel that it has.
Actually, just out of character, Elias, you saw that on the edge of the mountain there, you were on the very edge of Strahd's domain, and you saw that the mist was as thick as a wall. Whenever you find the limits of Barovia, you find a very thick, obvious mist that if you walked into it, you get lost.
Okay.
You saw that was there around the mountain. There's no doubt in your mind that you're still trapped here.
Okay, so Elias will vocalize that. He'll tell them, we were down at the mountain where the site was to be purified, and even afterwards, after we destroyed Strahd and purified the site, the fog was as thick as ever.
That is disappointing, but you know, and he speaks even quieter now. He says, "You know of our family secrets. Not many do. I'm not sure if the old world is meant for us anyway. We've found a way to make this place our home."
Yes, and more about your family. We have found another one of the gems for the winery, and we'll be delivering that as well.
Oh, the old man, he'll be happy. And so will we. It will do good for our sales here. It's the wine that keeps this place sane. It's the wine that keeps the village of Barovia, Valaki, and Kresk without going into complete madness. What we would do without our drink, I could only imagine. Speaking of family, and almost on cue, running down the stairs is Brom, Bray, Error, Myrtle, and surprising to you, someone that you haven't seen since the village of Barovia, a young boy named Paulton that you had saved from his parents who were selling him for dream pies.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, pull out a pie. Yeah.
Oh, Lord,
Jeeves, don't you
I'm not
dare.
that. Yeah.
These kids, a couple of them have Blinsky dolls in their hand. One looks like, an action figure of a werewolf. And these kids just come down and they're just being children. But when they catch sight of you, Elias and Alexandra, they instantly gravitate towards you and are happy that you're back.
Myrtle. Alexander turns from the stool and leans down to scoop the girl.
Yes, and she lets you. She seems very happy. And she's like, "Where have you been?"
We've been on a very dangerous adventure, my dear. But we're here now to rest a while, and we're safe.
They say we're a pain in the arse. What's an arse?
She whispers to the girl's ear, "You're behind."
Danica says, "Aye, they are a pain in the arse, but we love them. We don't mind taking care of the children so much, but this place is... It's not good for raising children, not so many. If you could talk to that burgomaster who's nuts, but..." And she says that kind of under her breath, but if you can talk to that nutty burgomaster you seem to get along with, then perhaps you can find a more permanent place that someone can watch over all of these children. We do enough with the two that are our own. They're enough handful.
Yes, I could see that. That is a good point. I think that will be a worthwhile endeavor. And if not that, then perhaps they could help out at the church. We could see what we could do.
Elias Blinsky did lose someone very close to him, if you remember. The sweet little monkey.
Yes.
He might be a little lonely around the shop. It might be good for him to have some children around to play test with toys with.
Erwin says, "Yes, on a matter of both of those things, that boy Malov who helps out with the church, I think he's the gravedigger. he was asking
Yes.
if Jack was in town, or if we had seen Jack. But we haven't seen Jack since the last time that you had been here, and told him that we would let him know. Uh, you know Jack is part of the family now, so will he be joining you?
Jack is taking a bit of a sabbatical. He is trying to search out answers for himself in regards to his power and just some soul searching, you might say. He's taking a break from the adventure shortly after we encountered Strahd. I think we could all use some time to ourselves, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Ah, indeed. And what of you, Mr. Jeeves? You're looking a little different these days. You, you,
A little green, a little under the weather. I'm good.
well, you know you'll always have friends here. If anyone in town gives you trouble, you know where to come to.
Yes.
It wouldn't be the first time that we've pulled your neck out of the noose.
Nope.
Speaking of which,
Literally.
I suppose either of you are any good at disguises, or we definitely could use it if we were going to be lingering around town for a while.
Erwin looks at Danica and she says, That I can't fix.
You can't fix ugly.
It's a tall order. I've got no suggestion. Sorry, love.
We tried, Jeeves.
I am good.
Well, he is quite mobile and sneaky. Perhaps he could just stay on all the roofs and never be seen.
You mentioned Blinsky earlier. I think you should know something's been going on with his toys.
Oh?
Oh?
We've always thought his toys were a bit awkward. Like he's got a sense of humor or fascination that is a little left of center, you know what I mean?
For sure. Indeed.
Well, I don't know if something's drawn to him or whatever for such reasons, but there's been talk around town that some of his toys have come to life.
Hmm.
Oh no.
Interesting. Have you seen any of this or any first-hand experience that you know of?
No, but I was walking down the road the other day, and I thought I saw something. I don't know what it was. It was a ghostly figure. You know how the mist can trick your eyes here.
Yes.
I thought I saw a ghostly figure in the mist, to be quite honest.
That is quite concerning. We may need to look into that. Perhaps Blinsky himself might know something.
Well, he's an interesting fellow. I don't. He knows dolls and toys, but I don't know how much wisdom he can pass to you. All I'm saying is that I think something's been attracted to his creepy dolls. The kids seem to love them, but fortunately none of theirs have acted up.
Very interesting. Any other happenings around town that you can think of we should know about?
Yeah, rumor has it that the burgomaster's son, what's his Victor, that strange
Yes.
boy. He never really made appearances until after you guys came, but here recently, I think he's taken up residence in and you can see that his talk has caught the attention of two men at a far table. And he says, the Wachter House, which you also know in another dialect is the Watcher House. He's taken up residence in the Watcher House.
Really?
Aye. And those two over there who are looking at me, and he nods to them, and he says, there's no bad feelings about the Wachters. Just letting our friends here know that the burgomaster's son that they asked about was taking up residence. No harm done. And they give each other like just I'm tired of this shit look and shake their heads and walk out. That's okay. They paid as they got their meal and their drink. I hope we didn't offend them. I don't think they're batty or anything.
What was all that about?
Well, the Watchers, they don't have the best reputation around town. The burgomaster had found out a list of witches and had been parading about every, I don't know, 4 days, a hanging for a witch.
What of Stella? How's she?
Well, and he looks around and he says, is it safe to talk about Stella?
As far as I know, what do you think, Alex? Anything we should be concerned about?
She's going to pocket Strahd's fangs once again and shake her head. Not that I'm aware. Still, one can never be too careful. Perhaps we should take our conversation to the kitchen or a private room somewhere.
And he leans in real close to, in between Elias and Alexandra sitting at the bar there and says, well, we've got her here down in our secret spot. If it's safe to bring her out, she's getting a bit kooky, getting stuffed in there for so long. She was telling us about how she'd been a cat person for a while, so I don't think that she does good stuck in one place for too long. But we've made sure no one's able to find her.
You can give her some room now. Strahd was planning on seeking her out and taking her, or Carmilla, but neither of those are an issue now.
Well, shall I send for her then? She'd like to stretch her legs, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Danica, go get the girl. She's got her freedom back. And you see Danica go into the kitchen, and then you can faintly hear another door open, and then after a little bit, Danica returns with a very somber-looking Stella. It looks like she hates life at this point. She's done with being manipulated by what everyone else wants for her, unable to make her own decisions, and being stuffed away against her will for her own safety.
Mm-hmm.
You can read this on her face as plain as day because she made this well known to you the last she had talked to you.
Oh, for sure. So when Elias sees her, he smiles as warmly as he can, and he gets to where Stella can hear him, and the family can hear him. He says, "Stella, it is finished. You are free. You can do as you will."
I suppose I can just go back to my house then, if it's safe?
Well, I'll be more specific. Strahd von Zurovich has been defeated.
And you see her face kind of brighten for a second.
He is no more. His influence on the land still lingers where the mists are still not traversable, but that is our next mission. Otherwise, the countryside is still dangerous, and there are the standard dangers of monsters, but those that were seeking you out for whatever nefarious ends they had are no more.
So Carmilla will be coming to see me soon?
I'm afraid what I just said includes Carmilla. Strahd killed her.
And the look of whatever she just had for a fleeting moment is gone.
However, I cannot say for certain that
It's okay.
even though
She probably would have killed me anyway.
no, let me finish, Stella. She is not completely vanquished. She was slain certainly by Strahd, but enough of her is intact, I think, that she could have survived because she was in the presence of a being more powerful, perhaps, I feel, than Strahd, who is in league with
Alexander
her.
casts a scathing glare to Elias at that point.
So I believe they work together, and I believe that man may be able to help her, but I don't really know.
Well, I suppose I would find out before you did. Surely
Yes.
she would come for me before you could do anything about it again.
Yes, well, I don't know what those two, or the one I've referred to, the very powerful man, I don't know what his scheme is, but we may be working with him again in the future. But Carmilla may not be completely gone. I can't say.
Stella looks at Jeeves and says, "Well, what the hell happened to you?"
Yeah, it's a long story. Give her a toothless grin.
He put his hands in places they didn't belong.
Why are
Several
your
times.
eyes covered?
They were injured a bit during the last fight. The bright light hurts my eyes around here. I need to keep them covered.
Well, that's okay. I'm sorry if I've been a trouble to everyone. And she looks at the Martikovs and she says, I just want to find a place to belong, like to have some sort of purpose in this village. Maybe now I can.
I have no doubt that now you will.
Is there anything that you've always wanted to do for yourself? Any desires or dreams? Anything we can help you get started with?
Well, there was a time I liked Victor, but he turned out to be a dick.
Have you spoken to him recently?
No. I've recently been tucked away like a dirty secret in a closet.
Elias cuts Alexandra a look and he says audibly to both of them, I would recommend never speaking to Victor.
He might be a changed man at this point. You never know.
He's definitely
Erwin
a changed
says,
man.
Stella, you should know that the rumor has it that Victor actually has been staying in Waterhouse. She says, in Waterhouse now? He's staying in my house? What will my brothers say? Well, if you're here just a little bit sooner, you could have asked them. They just walked out that door. I think they're a bit sour.
Would you like us to take you home now, Stella?
There'll be no need. I know the way myself.
Hold on, Stella, can I speak with you? Just you for a second?
And Erwin opens the kitchen door and, like motions for you two to go in there by yourself.
All right.
And then he closes it behind you.
Okay.
You think people could still hear outside if they really tried, unless you speak in, a quieter tone.
Okay. So Elias, speaks quietly. I mean, not a whisper to be creepy or whatever, but just, so she can hear clearly. That's not all the strange news regarding the team of this powerful man that I mentioned and Carmilla. There is yet another. And you may have met her during your time with Carmilla. Have you met a demon known as the Succubus?
I'm afraid I've not met any demons. I think I know what a succubus is. Yes, a female demon that is that preys on desire.
Yes.
Oh,
Quite more powerful.
I've heard stories, but I've never seen one.
Yes. Well, the Victor that you knew is dead. He was killed.
Oh, that's
by
good.
I don't completely disagree. But the Victor you know is dead, and he's been replaced as a new Victor by the Succubus, who they think is living in the Watcher House.
So now I have a demon in my house?
Yes. However, the caveat here is that the Succubus is in league with this neutral party I mentioned, who belongs.
What? And she just puts her hands in her face, and she's just defeated. I thought you were telling me this is all over.
Well, I think if you want this for yourself, this demon, I would never do this, but this thing is the closest link to Carmilla that you could have. If you want to befriend this creature, I think that's something you could do. I wouldn't do it, but They are in the same gang.
Carmela said that she would not turn me into a vampire if it was not my wish. And I would love to believe her. I do not believe that she used any powers to make me think that.
I wouldn't believe Carmilla for a second because there's certain things she could perhaps use you for, but a succubus I can't see having any use for you, and they seem to be quite middling in their intentions and just wanting for themselves whatever they wanted. I don't think that they would hurt you.
I don't think you understand that Carmilla was someone that was once much like me in my situation. And she knows what it's like to be a human. You are talking about something from hell. You are talking about a demon. Is this something that I can really trust, even if it was a friend of Carmilla's?
No, I would never trust it, but I'm just speaking from what I would assume I would feel if I was a friend of Carmilla's before, because they worked together and they trusted each other. It's certainly up to you how you would like to proceed, but I knew that was information that you should know.
If you think that there's some chance, some time, that Carmilla may come back, then perhaps if this thing is really her friend, it will keep me fresh for her.
I don't like how you use that word, Stella.
Well, I don't. I am just a pawn in everyone's game but my own.
Yes, and I'm beside myself being a cleric and man of God suggesting you make pals with a succubus, but I want what you want for yourself, and I don't know what else to suggest except this crazy idea.
You offered to take me home, and I said I knew the way. Please, take me home.
Okay, well, now you know, and of course, it's up to you if you tell anyone what's going on over there.
She just kind of shakes her head, looking at you like you're the person who forced her against her will to be apart from Carmilla in the first place. But you can see that resignating shake of her head is also, these are the only people that would really protect me. So she says, I trust that if you think that I'll be safe at home, let's just go.
I don't know that you'll be safe at home, but I know that you want to do what you want to do, lady. So let's go.
And she grabs a stray bottle, or not bottle, but glass of wine on the side of the kitchen table and just one-shots it, sets it down, and follows you out.
I was like, brave, you dug yourself alive.
Yeah, Elias chuckles, and he likes how that went, and so he walks out, and he says, let's escort the lady to her home.
And she breathes in a large breath of bravery and agrees. Yes, let's go to Wachter House.
Bella, before we do go, I do have something for you. Call it a memento. And she takes Victor's spellbook out of her bag and hands it over to the girl.
Oh, is this what he used to turn me into a cat?
I'm not sure. I haven't looked through it myself, but I'm assuming it contains the culmination of all of his...
Well,
you might find something in there to protect yourself with. I'm not sure, but I hope it comes of use to you.
you saw for a moment that she looked at a bin to throw it away, and then when you say it may have some practical use to protect herself, she grabs the book and she's holding it. She's ready to go.
She smiles and turns towards the door, setting Myrtle down. I have to go for a bit, Myrtle, but I hope I'll be back soon to visit you, alright?
That's fine.
She ruffles the girl's hair and smiles to her.
And then Era says, "Are you my mom?"
No, child, I'm not.
You're my mom.
Wow. Okay, Alexander has adopted a child.
Elias notices how Stella takes that book, and he asks her, "Would you like a weapon as well?"
I'll take what I can get. What do you got?
Let's see. Elias hands her a javelin.
Oh, this looks simple enough. You just put the pointy end in the thing you don't like. Got it.
Indeed.
All right, let's get going.
All right.
And as you leave, you hear, "Bye, Mom."
Oh my god.
All right. It's not a long jaunt up to Wachtterhaus, just to the north here.
Wachtterhaus.
When you get to this old, dilapidated house that looks like it just wants to crumble in on itself, you feel optimistic at the circumstances given. You know that on the other side of that door is probably the two people that were at the inn, her brothers, and somewhere inside there is a demon posing as Victor Volakovich. When you knock on the door, Stella pushes you aside and says, "I've got it," and then welcomes you in. She says, "Is anybody home?" And then you see her two brothers come in, and they all invite you into the parlor. There's a place where you can sit around the fireplace. It's quite comfortable here. It's not really in the dining area where Lady Watcher and Ernst had entertained you the first time you were here. All right, let me just read up real quick. They say, "Stella, we're not used to seeing you back as your old self again." Not a lot's changed since you were so different, but we haven't had much time to catch up. Where you been? And she says, "Well, let me introduce my friends." And she says, "This green scaly fellow over here is her butler. That's Alexandra. That's Mr. Jeeves. And this is my friend Elias. They killed Mother." And they stand up and they say, "Did they take care of the rest of her business too? You know, her book club?" And she says, "I don't know. I think that the mayor may have." And she says, "Speaking of the mayor," and one of them bellows, "Victor, get your arse down here." I'm sorry, I'm still speaking in my Scottish accent from the Marty Cops. They don't sound Scottish at all. They sound more
Scottish
Romanian.
from Ireland.
Or Irish. I'm sorry. Their family is from Ireland. Thank you.
Whatever.
Or their descendants were, anyway. Davian. Okay, so you see Victor come down, and, well, Victor in quotes, and says, Stella, you're back. It's been a while." And she says, "These are my brothers, Nikolai and Carl." And they kind of nod their heads at you in a way that says, "We don't know if there's going to be trouble yet, so we're just going to stay standing up." Victor, our sister here, says that the book club may be taken care of. And Victor says, "I wouldn't be so hasty on that. Not all of those people whose names were in that book have been hanged yet." But I'm sure my father will do so at the earliest opportunity to celebrate anything.
Yes, we would prefer not to get directly involved in that matter. I think we've changed and done a bit too much in this town as it is.
We have, I assume your friends here are the useful type. Get stuff done. And you know we enjoy our freedom probably a little too much. I've never had interest in the estate.
Alexandra just glances up at quote-unquote Victor. She can see right through the illusion, and she just smiles.
Yes, to everyone, Victor looks like Victor, except to Alexandra. She sees the true form of Lilith, which I can go ahead and display that too.
Hey, Lilith picture.
Always easy to look at, right?
Yeah. I hope I'm not the only one that remembered that about Victor, by the way.
What would that be?
No.
Okay.
Why do you think Alexandra was suggesting that she make friends with her, or the new Victor?
Oh. Yep, there we go.
Yes, well, Carl says we weren't disappointed in our mother's passing. She had company we really didn't approve of, and dabbled in things that we would rather not see. We didn't spend a lot of time here at the estate. But we have some interesting news, Stella. And Carl looks over to Nikolai. And Nikolai says, Father's body was in an odd state up in Mother's bed. Well, in their bed, you know. After he had passed, I think she had bewitched his body in a way that he wouldn't rot. So you knew that, but we, and he looks at his brother, we saw him walk down the stairs and leave the manor. Yeah. Carl says, yeah. He got up on his own 2 feet, and he got out of here on his own.
That's disconcerting.
Out of character, what did we do with the Watcher father?
I think we just left him there.
Yeah,
And I think we just left Ernst in the closet where Lilith left.
Is that what that damn smell is? And Victor says, no, I've taken care of that. Don't worry about that. And this place, I've been making progress. The smells will eventually dissipate. And you notice now that Victor has said that this place looks a lot more put together on the inside than when Lady Watcher was the hostess.
Alexander turns to the two older sons. I'm sorry for the part we played in your mother's death. I know we've done a lot of strange things here in this town and upturned a lot of things, but if it's for the better, and if you feel you're making progress here without her, then, well, I hope things do turn out for the best.
Well, I don't know, and I'm still not sure about Victor there, bewitching our sister and all. But he can be very persuasive when he wants to be, and honestly, I can't quite know why I haven't beat the... And as soon as he says that, you see that he makes eye contact with Victor and just stops talking. He's like... Victor's not so bad, I guess. He's helping out around here. He's doing the best he can.
I think he's learned from his mistakes. And everyone's deserving of a second chance.
Well, any reputation our family had went down with that book that was confiscated for the book club. So I don't know if we will do well in this village with such a reputation. Mother had some very interesting friends.
We've dealt with the issues. We've made it clear to the burgomaster that she was acting alone.
Acting
I'm
alone?
sh-
You've never met her friend, Valentina.
I meant not you two involved, none of the children.
Oh, I thought you meant her book club friend.
No. The burgomaster, unfortunately, is well aware of the list. But
Well,
none of you were implicated in anything, so whatever reputation you may feel has been sullied, you have a chance to
Tell us more about this Valentina woman. What has she done?
let's see. What was her last name? Cantemir, yeah. Valentina Cantemir. Her and mother, they would spend long nights here and talk about their book that they like so much. And they were the ones that would pick out those that they thought they should invite to the book club, we've overheard. But Valentina has always made a good distance between her and mother so that only us here in the house would know something like this.
Hmm. Can you describe what she looked like?
Oh, pretty fair lady, much younger than Mom. Blonde hair, blue robe. Don't know what else to say.
Interesting. All right. Well, I still don't feel that we'll get any more involved than we absolutely have to, given how much trouble we've caused for the town so far. But should we run into members of the book club and they cause an issue for us, then we will deal with them. But first and foremost, my good man, I would charge you to keep a good eye on your sister and make sure she is well taken care of and has everything she needs. She's been through quite the ordeal.
To be quite honest, we don't really know her much. I mean, it's been so long that she was bewitched thinking that she was a cat, and that wasn't too pretty. And then, even before then, we were out of the house so much.
Now you have time to get to know her. It's never too late.
Stella will not stand in your way if you choose to take over the estate. You know that. But don't depend on us for anything. We just have rooms here. If it was up to us, we wouldn't be watchers.
Well, it's always up to you if you want to turn the reputation of your family around. You don't have to be watchers.
I don't know if you've noticed, friend, but life is short here in our village. We just plan on living it as best we can and have as much fun along the way.
Wouldn't be my philosophy, but I can understand how you might feel that way living in such a place.
This place would be boring without us. We liven it up.
You two, by chance, haven't seen any strange things along here at night, have you? Like any of Blinsky's toys wandering around by themselves?
Oh, just our dead father getting up and walking. You know,
Aside from that,
I'd say that's pretty significant.
I would agree.
did you happen to see which direction he was headed once he left?
He went out the front door and just headed on down the road, further into town. We didn't bother going to talk to him. We were scared to death.
Was this in the middle of the night?
Yes. We were coming back late. As we usually do.
Something worth investigating, do you think, Elias?
Perhaps. Can you tell us anywhere that your father may have been accustomed to going to or visiting when he was alive?
No. Not big of a fan of Dad, just like Mom.
I see. Well, Stella, shall we leave you?
Not quite. Victor, if you wouldn't mind coming up and talking to me and my friends here in private, and you can tell that Victor was like looking like, okay, well that cat's out of the bag, and he says, "Oh, of course. Shall we go upstairs?"
Alexandra just kind of gives the side eye and nods towards Elias, like it's his fault.
I gladly accept whatever fault.
All right.
The girl needs to know she's living with the succubus.
So back upstairs. Keep in mind there is no dead dad bod on the bed anymore in the parents' room, the master bedroom. But
Dad.
yeah. Stella's room is not really permissible for company. It's disgusting, if you recall.
Yeah.
She didn't really have a great time in there. So she takes you instead to the library. It's the larger room in the upper left that has the two windows that kind of look out the back, and the chute there for the chimney over here to the left side of the house. And it's there that she just plainly speaks to Victor and says, "So you're a demon from hell, huh?" And Victor says, "Allow me to show you my true form." And she instantly turns into the Lilith that you know and extends a hand to Stella. "My name is Lilith. I am a friend of Carmilla's. She and I have an associate here that we work for, a mutual friend. And apparently our friends here have filled you in that I am not what I appear to be. So I would never do anything to harm Carmilla's friends. She's a close friend of mine. So you're safe."
So Elias raises his eyebrows and looks at Stella like, "Well, I told you so."
And then Stella looks at you like, "Am I gonna be the one to do this?" And she just stares at you like, "Don't make me do this."
Do what?
And she just face palms and says, "Your friend Carmilla is dead. My friend Carmilla is dead." And you see Lilith just take a chair and shakes her head a little bit.
As I told Stella, I wouldn't say that she is dead fully. Her head is intact, and you know she's in the company of...
Her head is intact? What does that... What? What does that mean? Her head is intact?
I believe that your master is extremely powerful, and I would not doubt his ability to help her somehow.
He is the master of death, yes, but that doesn't mean he can just bring someone like Carmilla back. Not in any mortal lifetime. She's dead. She's gone.
Perhaps.
This is a strange place. Perhaps there is a way. I don't know. But, Stella, this doesn't change the fact that I would dishonor her memory by harming her friend. I knew of you before this meeting, and I will take care of you. As Victor, if you wish, for as long as you wish. And Stella says, "It was expected of us, Victor and I, to be wed eventually anyway. It was a thought that never quite caught on for him, even though that's what I originally wanted. But as awkward as it may be, I suppose it works. I don't know if I appreciate having a demon resident in the house, but if we come to know each other better, and whatever you're doing to my brother, stop that. We have to work this out in a natural way. This is a big place. Maybe we can coexist. What are your plans for this place? Why are you here before I even am here?" And Lilith says, "I plan on extending the family line of the Volakoviches. And I don't enjoy their company staying in their mansion with the burgomaster. So I thought, taking residence here in your absence, and the brothers are easily manipulated, that this place suits me. It's large, and I can fix it up. And once I continue my lineage here of the Volakoviches, then perhaps I can influence the rest of this place. And this could be my village. I will outlive any mortals here, and I can do with it what I please. Unless someone objects," and she kind of looks over to Elias.
Well, naturally, I would object, but I also really genuinely wish that Stella's free will outweighs my decision for once.
Well, I will pose as a suitor for Stella if she would have it, and she can be involved in all of the decisions for Volaki's future.
If she holds an equal balance in the decisions that you make for this village to where it is not a single-party monarchy, as you seem to kind of pose it, where you could equally rule and make decisions and improve Valaki, then I might be all for that.
Sure. What's 60 years or so anyway? I mean, yeah, at first that will work out great.
Well,
Alexander glances to Stella.
It's not like I'm going to get emotionally attached, and she doesn't know what to say. I'll think on it. If you could find my father's corpse, that would be great while I think on this.
We definitely will do our best to find out what's going on.
Well,
It's not
if
the only strange happening in this town so far that we've heard of. Just from the few minutes we've been back.
Lilith, do you know anything of this with the father's corpse?
I had heard a rumor that the burgomaster has had a little bit of trouble with those he confiscated or imprisoned due to the names of the people in that book. I think that they've been broken out.
I see. And would you know anything about these possessed toys, and could that be related?
I have no idea.
I see. Well, I will leave you to your decision, Stella, and if you ever have any trouble,
Yes.
let us.
How? Shall I tell the Mardikovs?
Oh, to reach us?
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely. They can send ravens to us.
Got it. Well, We have servant quarters downstairs. If you ever wish, you can stay here if you ever need to rest for free.
We appreciate the offer. Thank you.
We haven't had servants since Father died, but
Elias looks behind his back
Aside
for
from
Jeeves to
crimes.
make sure he's not stealing anything.
yes, Mr. Jeeves, you've been super quiet. Did you want to do
Jeeves?
anything while you're quietly in the background of all things here?
Sorry, yeah. No, I'm good. I'm listening along.
Okay, I'm sorry. I feel like you get neglected sometimes, but this is just how you enjoy the game, so it's fine. All right,
We just drag him along.
That's okay. As long as Mark's happy, I'm happy.
Lilith, you've met our pet snake before, I suppose.
Ooh, burn. Yeah, I don't see that being popular around town. You might want to figure out a way to, I don't know, hide your face.
You're the mistress of illusion. Can nothing be done to help?
Okay. I wasn't expecting that question. Hold on a second.
Hmm.
She says, I'm afraid that my shape-changing abilities are limited only to myself. It's something I'm born with, not that I learn like a spell.
That's a pity, but I do appreciate you checking.
It's an interesting question. Some wizards surely would be able to do it.
Well, we have a spell book here, but I don't know if anything applicable is in there either.
That spell book belongs to Stella, now alive.
Oh, look, that's Victor's. Yes,
Was.
if Stella would like it, she can have it. It's... I don't know if it's more trouble, really, learning magic. It always seems to bring an extra bit of adventure to one's life.
Still, if there's something in there that can help protect her and
Well, she has a handy javelin now as well.
Sure. So, what's your next step, everybody?
we're gonna go
Well-
track down the father's walking corpse.
Yeah, that might be a kind of a vague goal, but I think we can get started on it, as well as the other strange happenings going on. And when was our last long rest, anyway?
You've fought the Rock since then, and Strahd, so you guys are probably due for a long rest. Lilith can tell you that the spells within Victor's spellbook are as follows, because she can read it. Detect Magic, Mage Armor, Magic Missile, Shield, Thunderwave, Misty Step, Suggestion, Dark Vision, Levitate, Counterspell, Fireball, Fly, Animate Dead, Glyph of Warding, Remove Curse, Greater Invisibility, Ice Storm, Blight, Cone of Cold, and Cloud Kill.
Wow. Pretty good stuff.
They do sound like they'd come in handy.
Yes, Stella, if you study this enough, you will be able to use a magical armor, a reactionary additional shield, and something that will allow you to step away magically, a small teleport. These would be good for you to have. If that's something that you wish to dedicate your life to, learning magic is no easy feat. Well, I've got nothing better to do. I guess I can look into it. But anyone that's seen Jack cast knows that cantrips are only the first step, and they were talking about first and second level spells. So it would be a long time for now before she's able to do something like that. Of course, if she had the right instructors. Anyways, so your next step. Are you going to take a long rest here?
Oh, what time of day is it?
Well, let's think about it. You entered
I
the...
think you mentioned it was breakfast when we entered the Blue Water.
Yeah, but I may have misspoke because you guys defeated Strahd in the daytime at the sacred site,
Mhm.
and then fought the rock and made your way down the mountain and to the village. So I'm going to say it's actually that was lunchtime, not breakfast time.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a busy morning for you. Quite epic. You defeated a legendary Dungeons and Dragons villain. Making good time today, guys.
It's a productive day.
Yeah, if you take an 8-hour rest now, you think that it would put you back into the working world well into nighttime. So perhaps you want to squeeze a little bit more out of this day, or go ahead and take that rest.
Well, I think that we're in pretty good shape. I don't have, I mean, maybe like not quite half of my spells, but HP wise, we're doing good. Alex, how's your dice?
I neglected to mention Esmeralda and Rudolph Van Richten coming into town. Sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if they were with us still or not.
What would you like to do with them? Otherwise, I'll just say that they're here with you.
You know, I think they might want to hang out, because Van Richten used to always hang out at the Blue Water anyway. I think he might have stayed there.
You... Okay.
That's up to you. I don't know. I mean,
Well,
Well, he's still being affected by his "I'm invincible and
Yeah.
nothing can touch me."
and
I
like
think they
you,
would've
Elias, he has a tendency to be able to detect fiends and demons. Invincible
Yeah, I don't-
old crazy guy that can detect fiends and demons.
yeah, I don't want him to be here with the succubus.
Okay. Yeah. Blue Water Inn, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, he used to
Yeah.
have a room there, so
Yes. He's friends with them, actually.
yeah.
All right, then. I'll just say that you left them at the Blue Water Inn. You know, unless you want a whole Rudolph Van Richten versus Lilith, I wouldn't mind seeing that, but
Yeah, no.
probably wouldn't
Well,
end
if-
up too well for him.
If Elias ever has any, slight hint that something is not going right, he'll probably fight her himself. But right now, there's no reason to.
I think Alexander's rubbing off on you, holy man.
Well, a little bit, but also it's the Stella thing, because he feels bad about that, so he wants her to get what she wants.
Okay. All right. So, long rest or onward?
I vote onward for a little while.
I'm fine with continuing on for a bit.
Jeeves?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Okie doke. Where are you going next? Have the town of Valaki.
Well, they said that the father seemed to be wandering towards the center of town, so I suppose we should head around, start knocking on doors, seeing if people have seen anything.
We could check out Bunsky's first and see how he's doing.
We could. And we could ask him if he's up for gaining a new apprentice and maybe a child to help out around the shop and test toys.
Yeah,
So to Blinsky's it is.
sure.
Sure.
All right. You travel southward to the toy shop. The repairs have been completed since this place was burned down once. Poor Blinsky no longer has his monkey, but
Poor Piccolo.
Blinsky looks like this minus the monkey.
Poor Piccolo.
And as you come into his toy shop, he's happy to see you. You guys have been through a lot. And you open his door, and the door hits the little bell above the door. And he says, "Yeah, my friends, welcome, welcome, come in. Where's Jack?"
Oh, Jack is
Jack,
taking a.
unfortunately,
Go ahead. Here, let me roll for it.
What's that?
your turn.
Okay, my turn. Yeah, Jack is taking a break. He wanted to really get to know himself and his magic better, so he's taking a bit of a vacation.
Very good. Well, things have been weird here, you know. As my toys. And he just points over to the corner, and you see a rocking horse that looks like the nightmare that Strahd used to ride.
Yeah.
It's rocking on its own, just actively.
Yes, we've heard some
So we've
disturbing.
heard.
We've heard some disturbing stories about your toys. Do you think you know anything about what might have happened?
I don't know. The kids still buy them, even though they do this.
Well, the kids might like it.
What's changed recently? Can you think of anything that's happened?
There was an earthquake, and then after the ground was done shaking, it wasn't too long. Like maybe the next night, not the next night, maybe the next couple of hours, this mess started happening. It's very recent.
I think I might have an idea what happened.
Have any of the toys been behaving malevolently?
And he just kind of like dodges as this ball that looks like a vampire head with fangs kind of flies by his head and hits the wall.
Yikes.
Nice.
I guess that answers that question.
You're a brave man to stay here with these toys.
Sometimes you play with the toys, sometimes the toys play with you.
So it would seem.
Alexander takes the remains, every last piece of Pidwick the Second out of her bag that's wrapped up in the cloth, and she slowly and sadly hands it over to Blinsky. He was broken, sadly, but if anyone can repair him and put him back together, I have faith that you alone can do it. If you still wanted to.
Well, normally I'd take you up on that. I've wanted it for so long, but with all of this stuff in my shop getting a little bit more feisty than I'd like, I don't think it'd be a good idea to leave that with me just yet. Just bring it back to me after this settles down.
Probably for the best.
That
She
sounds fair.
puts the bundle back into her bag. Blinsky, a question if you don't mind.
Wait. And he goes over to Mr. Jeeves and he says, inspiration.
Oh, Lord.
Oh?
Yes, I think you would. Yes. And he starts sketching down on this little notepad with a piece of charcoal. It looks like he's drawing you as a puppet.
Open up,
Yes.
chicklets. Show him your new smile.
Drag a pose.
Oh, yeah, I noticed. No teeth. That would make perfect for a puppet. Puppets don't have teeth.
Wow. Yes, the lucrative
That one did.
puppet man market.
That one did. She points at the doll head that's currently munching on the wall.
Oh, no, it was a ball. It was like kind of like a
Oh.
baseball.
Oh.
Except it was painted to like a vampire with fangs on it.
Hmm.
Yeah, but it's still rolling around on the ground. Like as you say that, it like rolls by your feet.
So,
Elias,
yes.
I wonder, do you think any of this could have to do with the witches that escaped?
I it may have something to do with the witches. Another thought I have, Alex, is that we know that souls have issues here, to where someone born often does not have one, and those that die, their souls are trapped. I think that maybe the passing of Strahd may have changed the status of the souls to where they're trying to enter things.
You do remember that the body walked out last night, and Strahd just he was a this morning kind of thing. So
Okay, well, besides the defeat of Strahd happening, I don't suppose I know of anything else different going on besides the witches, so that may be it, yes.
It could be any number of things. I think it's high time we got to the bottom of it regardless.
Yes, it may actually be time we get involved with the witches. I certainly don't wish that we would get, this town in any more trouble than we already have, but it may be necessary to save people if things are being possessed and trying to attack citizens.
Indeed. Blinsky,
yeah,
if we can get this whole mess sorted out with the toys seeming to come to life, do you think might be helpful if you could get another set of hands around the shop? Could you use an apprentice if we could find you?
I. You mean like Piccolo?
Like Piccolo, only I was thinking more in terms of your target audience. Perhaps a few children to help out around.
Aw.
Able hands, test subjects for your new toys and designs.
Test subject.
I'm not really up for hiring a new employee, but I do love children.
Well, we have some children that may be in need of a home that are displaced from unfortunate events.
Oh, no home.
I see. Well, that's understandable.
Every child employee is a customer that I wouldn't have. But if I paid them, they could buy more toys.
I guess that evens out.
I don't think it would be prudent if anyone lived here with me. And then as he says this, you see a snake that has a head on both ends is like inchworming its way across the counter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so at least for now, that would not be a good idea. I agree. Well, I guess that's all we can really do for now. Thank you for your time, Mr. Blinsky.
Yeah. Sorry, things are weird.
Things are always weird.
Weirder, and it's quite all right.
I mean, we have a giant human snake following us around. I mean, which weirder can it get?
Alexandra rolls her eyes and takes Blinsky's hands. As soon as we get this sorted, I'll bring Pidwick back to you. We'll see what we can do with him.
Okay. And Mr. Jeeves, I'll make an extra scaly puppet for you.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. Thank you.
And be sure you make Mr. Pidwick a nice thing this time.
Alexandra glares at Elias.
Elias glares at Alexander.
Well, you're taking those pieces with you, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not gonna risk them coming to life on their own here, sorry.
Yeah. As you look at those pieces, you think that you could, not repair them, but kind of fit them together a little bit more than they currently are.
Yeah, we'll wait till we get the whole toys coming to life thing under wraps.
Okay.
Okay.
So, ding, the little bell that the door hits on your way out. What's your next stop?
Anywhere but the Burgomaster.
Oh, Lord, yes.
Understandable, because you know you would have a lot of celebration about to happen.
Yeah, please, no.
There's a parade waiting for you with your name on it.
Nope. We're good.
Well, there's the church, and Jeeves, you got any ideas? Where should we look?
Let's see. I don't know. Party sounds good.
What?
The party.
Oh.
Aw,
Hmm.
Nosedive had to go. Bye, Dan. Thanks for stopping by.
Bye-bye.
Oh, and Brainiac started watching too. Cool.
Perhaps we should visit the stocks. I know you're not a fan of that location, Jeeves, but maybe there's something is left behind that could give us some information about the women they have executed.
Sure.
I don't know where to look for any evidence or information about those women.
I mean, I suppose we could knock and try door to door and see if anyone saw the Watcher Father.
If Ernst was still alive, he would probably know something, but
Lilith made short work of him.
yeah, hopefully she makes short work of no one else. I'm surprised those brothers were still intact.
She probably finds them useful. If nothing else, they can help protect stuff.
How knowledgeable are you of those things? Do they get naturally thirsty for what they do, or is it just the choice?
I believe they need to feed on souls and desires just as vampires need to feed on blood.
Yeah, that's what concerns me.
However, I do think succubuses are predisposed to go after males. I do think Stella would be quite...
Well, I'm not worried just about Stella. I mean, there's other innocent people in the world.
Is anyone truly innocent, Elias? You, I, Jeeves, anyone here in this...
So people should die, and that's okay.
I didn't say that. I just said some people may deserve it more than others, and I'm sure she picks her targets quite carefully.
Let's hope so. I don't want to think about it.
Then I suggest we not. It would probably be for the best of all of us.
Elias definitely thinks about it.
He thinks to himself. So you guys are under the little canopy out in front of Blinsky's shop as the rain continues to pour down out in the streets.
Let's head toward the center of town and start asking around.
Hey, seen any dead people walking around?
As if that would be the strangest question anybody's ever asked the people of this village.
Okay, so y'all start heading towards the stocks where Mr. Jeeves was almost hung. That would be here in this town square.
Yay.
Yay!
Alexandra, with disadvantage, roll a perception check.
Disadvantage.
She's got
Yeah.
a blindfold kind
Oh,
of.
right.
It's a very thin lace thing.
Ooh, even with disadvantage, that's excellent. Yeah, you think that you've picked out a guard that you guys are familiar with, that was ready to hang Mr. Jeeves, but only at the command of Ezek Strozny. And you think that with all that happened with him and stuff, that you would be able to talk to him and get any information that he might know.
Elias, I recognize that guard. Perhaps you might be a little helpful. And she points to the guard.
Perhaps so. I will do my best to speak with him. Elias tries his best to be charismatic and approaches the guard and smiles and waves, and he says, "Good day, sir. Terrible storm. May I talk to you for a moment?"
Good day, all is well, all that good mess. Yes, yes, yes. And then, Mr. Jeeves, you see the stocks that you were locked up in, where that fat
Yes.
kid was throwing rocks at you. You also see the gallows where they're ready to string you up and hang you by.
PTSD.
As
Yeah.
in premonition, your journey to Vallaki had seen some image of you hung there. Seeing this stock now brings that image back to your mind, and
Yeah.
I'd like to know where you are in relation to this conversation.
I'm just staring at these contraptions and debating whether to summon my hellhounds to burn them to the ground, but that's probably not a good idea, so
Alexander walks
quietly
over.
and just brood in a corner.
Okay.
Alex will walk over and help him adjust his collar a little bit, try to help him hide his creepy, scaly skin.
Yeah, and his oh so vulnerable neck. Oh so breakable neck. Okay, so the guard responds, Elias. What can I help you with?
Yes.
I recognize you. I know who you are.
Oh, I thought you might. We've had quite a few adventures, quite a few victories, of course. You can recognize our strength, I'm sure. We've heard some very strange going on in the town lately. We're wondering if you could give us any information on any unusual things and how we could put a stop to them.
Well, it seems some objects are moving on their own. And we've heard of rumors of today only that there are a few people missing.
People missing any specific pattern or people that you can recall?
No, it just seem like average villagers. I don't know if it's just related to all this mess going on with these objects moving on their own, or if these 3 disappearances are related somehow to that.
And what of the witches that the mayor has been looking for? Have you kind of found where they might be, where they might have some kind of residence, or where they might be located? Any further leads on them?
No, he's not really privy on letting that information out. So where did you hear that from?
Well, he more or less got the book from our meddling, so we kind of started that off.
I need to know who told you that they were missing.
What?
Good job, Elias.
You said that the witches from the burgomaster's mansion are missing. Correct? Did I hear that come out of your mouth?
I didn't say that. What?
Oh, just repeat to me again what you said about the witches.
Did you say bitches?
I didn't know the witches were. I forgot out of character they were supposed to be in the mansion.
Right, just out of character. You understand that bringing that up, it's kind of privileged information that they are no longer there.
Ah. Okay,
And he's
so
asking you who let you in on that.
Actually, sir, I was not aware that they were gone from the mansion. I forgot they were supposed to be there.
Oh, shit. I guess I let the cat out of the bag then.
Nice recovery, buddy.
Well, that's terrible.
They've escaped, you say?
Well, escaped, been broken out, I don't know. You didn't hear this from me.
Of course not, but still, it's a situation that must be dealt with.
Yeah, but you gotta understand that all is well here all the time, okay?
Oh, yes, we know.
Well, apparently, someone had broken into the burgomaster's mansion, went to the place where he had them locked up and waiting to be hung at whatever convenient festival he wanted to throw, and escaped. They were broken out. The guard doesn't know who did it. We think magic may have been involved to help conceal the breakout.
Do you know the name Valentina?
There's a few Valentinas here in the village.
I forgot the last
Blonde
name of
hair.
that character.
Blonde hair, blue robe, younger woman.
Oh, yes. I think I might know who you're talking about.
Do you know where she might be?
The Cantemir family. I believe that's who you're looking for. Yeah, they're one of the more well-off-to-do families here, Valentina. Right behind the church, there's right behind the graveyard of the church, there's a bigger 2-story house. That would be her residence.
Ah, I see. Okay. Well, thank you. That's all the questions I had for you. Alex, would you like to speak to the guard?
No, I think we've learned all we needed to learn, and
Yep.
we appreciate your cooperation, but once again, we didn't hear any of this from you, so...
Right. And plus, I owe you. I mean, getting rid of that Strozny freak was the best thing that's ever happened to this village.
Right. Just push Alex away gently.
As
Probably
as
a good
Mr.
idea.
Jeeves recalls, putting a rapier literally skewering the man, like from the bottom side up.
Yep.
All right, so if you're done with your business with him, you can head toward the church.
As they do that, as they're walking and we get out of earshot of the guard, Elias offers the thought that I believe Valentina was the one that set the witches out.
I believe we all drew that conclusion.
Well, I'm just letting you know what I'm thinking.
Are we off to her manor then?
I'm trying to decide if that's wise or not. If we,
After a few moments worth of ushering out of the way, Alexander shrugs Jeeves. I'm all right, stop it.
I think visiting the church first might be prudent, and they, being in close vicinity to them, might know something of the family as well.
We might get some more information if anybody around there knows anything. Good idea, Elias.
All right, so what's next? We got to wrap it up soon, so... I mean, I could probably go for a little bit longer. Hold on, I'm going to take a quick break. You guys decide on where you're going to go next. Long rest, house, you name it, we'll do it. Be right back.
Okay.
Long rest or up to the church?
Well, I think combat is only possible at the Valentina house. So the question is if we want to rest before we do that or not.
My second wind is burned, but all of my other combat superiority is fine, and I still have my action surge, but if you're down some spell slots, I think we should go into it well rested and...
I'm back. What'd I miss?
Welcome back.
Speedy.
Oh,
Yeah.
nothing. We're just trying to decide if we want to do a long rest or go straight to the church / house. I'll probably play till exactly the cutoff time. I don't think I'm going to play any longer.
Aw, I was
Yeah.
just ready to play for like another hour.
Oh,
Me too.
crap.
Me too.
Yeah, I can't.
Well, you can drop Elias off with the others in the Blue Water.
No, we can just pick it up next week. This is our scheduled time to stop. About 2 hours. About 2 hours in. But let's make good time with what we've got here before you head out. And just whenever you're ready to stop, just let us know.
Okay. Let's make Jeeves decide.
What? Oh, you don't want to do
You've
that.
been lurking in the background long enough.
Hey, I'm ready to go up on the rooftops and hang out. I'd love to see you make it. Right, jokes.
That will actually be a great idea if he can get a better vantage point anyway while he's up there. See if he can see anything.
Right, because when Jeeves is in Valaki, up on roofs and spying in windows, things get
great things happen.
That's how we started. That's how this.
It was
this village
fine
started.
until he tried to open the crates.
Yeah.
When he started getting nosy and curious, that's when shit hits the fan.
So I'll just stay not nosy.
Yeah. Just stay in creepy lurker mode and you'll be fine.
Sure.
Right. So long rest or head over to the house that was described.
Right, long rest.
Jesus sleeping on the roof.
Yeah.
Well, you guys know that you have beds over at
I know. I'm just gonna
Wachterhaus.
start at-
Yeah, we could sleep at the inn or the Watcher House for free. But let's leave the inn to have its normal vacancy so they can make some money. So we'll stay at the Watcher House.
I was
Okay.
just gonna suggest the inn because they'll probably sleep a little better there than in the strange, and in the servants' quarters, no less.
I thought you just suggested the Watcher House, didn't you?
When we were gonna stay there originally, but since we left the house, then no. I'd rather go to the Blue Water Inn.
Y'all don't all have to stay in the same place. I just, if you want to split the party up, I'm good with that.
It's a
I
bad
bet
idea.
you would be. Well, my only thing against the Blue Water is just taking their business away from them. That's like no in character problem really. Yeah, we could do that. That's good.
All right.
All
So
right, to the Blue Water Inn.
okay, we'll say that because there's a good bit of daylight left in between sessions, if you wanted to do some shopping, just send me a message and we can say that happened at this point in between now and the long rest, okay?
That would be a good idea.
Right. So with that in mind, you guys go to the Blue Water Inn. The merriment there is unlike you've seen since you've been in Valaki. The Mardikov family is celebrating the news that you had brought to them. They're the only people in the land that know it, and it is something that they've hoped for so long that you begin to see characters come in that you think have to be were-ravens. People you've never met before. People that aren't in the family, but are also in their... I don't know, is it a murder of ravens? I would hope that doesn't sound right. That's a crow thing, right? And ravens are not crows.
Yeah.
But there is their flock. You can tell these are members of their flock, and they have busted out the good stuff. Back when they could make the Champagne du Lac, or whatever it's called. The
Champagne distilled.
Yes, that is poured into your glasses, and you are invited to enjoy the merriment. They are playing music. It reminds you of the Vistani music that you heard at Madame Eva's camp, but no Vistani are allowed within these walls here. The Mardikovs might not feel that way, but you can tell the music is very influenced and happy. You're treated like kings here, so even though you probably don't want a parade throughout this entire droll city, this is the first night that you've slept in the confining mists of Barovia that don't sound like some dire thing is waiting as soon as you open your eyes the next day. So I'll apply. Go ahead.
Sorry, quick fun fact. A group of ravens is an unkindness
An unkindness.
or a conspiracy.
Ooh, a conspiracy of ravens. I like that one.
Cool.
So, a murder of crows, a conspiracy of ravens. Poor blackbird.
I know. Like,
I thought they were just called a kindness. I didn't know. I thought they were, yeah.
Unkindness.
an unkindness. That's so wrong for our friends here. They're
It
so
sounds
nice.
cool, but yeah.
Okay, I have applied the effects of a long rest. You guys spend 8 hours. Esmeralda's there. Van Richten's there. You wonder about where Jack might be this night. This is the only reservation in your heart as you allow yourself to finally enjoy a good reason to celebrate, as this day will be marked on Barovian calendars as the day that Strahd was defeated. The next morning, when you wake up, the rain has stopped, and it's no brighter than any other Barovian day. The mist still obscure sunlight that would be potent enough to harm a vampire. But the day is yours, and you have an appointment to go and check out that new manor that belongs to the Cantomeres.
Yeah, that's gonna be awkward, but it's next, I guess.
Alexandra has to bid farewell to her now adopted son, I guess.
Bye, Mom.
God.
Yeah, and while during the night when everyone was celebrating, Paulton had told you that Father Donovich had arranged for safe passage for Paulton to actually come to this village, because they thought that with more people here, they would better be able to house an orphan such as he.
Okay.
Other than that, did you guys want to wrap up here or extend out a bit more?
That's good. That's enough for me.
Very well then. Well, monumentous night tonight. We had Dan checking everything out. Modico stopped by. Brainiac. Hugo, as always, thank you for being here. I forget you're even in voice chat with us. You're so quiet. But
He is?
yeah.
Yeah, he's right here.
Yeah.
Hey. Yeah. Oh, there he is.
Yeah. Well, no action tonight, really, but I hope that things are still interesting for you. I hope you're enjoying the game as much as I am.
Roleplay session for the win.
Yeah, that last session was nothing but combat. This session was nothing but roleplay and intrigue as you guys figure out what the heck's going on in the town of Vallaki. Of course, you've got other priorities in the land that you need to take care of. If you want to involve yourself in this stuff, that's great. If you want to just go straight for trying to figure out how to get rid of this mist, do what you need to do. I'll leave on this note. Elias, you find a moment during last night's revelry to speak with Rudolph van Richten over a glass of wine. And I don't know if you're partaking, but he has decided to. And,
He will. Elias will drink some.
And he gets serious for a moment. And he says, "We've defeated Strahd. That is done now. But I'm disappointed that we were not able to lure our prey into this trap, into this land." And you can see that this is just eating at him. that he feels like this is only half done. And you recall that when Dracula came down to talk to you all, that was deep down near the old tree in the cave with the river. That sacred site was just you folks who had been in the boat. And you came out with that news. He doesn't know about this other player, this other piece on the board.
Yep. So Elias feels convicted in this moment to be what he professes to be, and to be the cleric and man of God that he is. And he knows, he can feel the sincerity and the weight of Van Richten's heart as they have this conversation. And as they are privately discussing this, Elias tells Van Richten, Dracula is here. He was with us shortly after we defeated Strahd.
Who is Dracula?
He is, I believe, Matthias.
What?
Yes, the resemblance is uncanny. He has... I could feel power in him, perhaps even beyond Strahd. He seems to be helping us from the shadows. He was working in tandem with that Carmilla woman and a succubus. They seem to be...
What makes you think that Dracula is Matthias?
Nothing more than just a feeling and conjecture in the drawings and paintings that I have seen of him. But also how Alex seems to act around him.
Well, a Belmont acting around Matthias would be instant aggression.
You know, Alex, that is not the case.
Good night.
Good night, wife.
That was daughter. But
Oh, good night, daughter.
Night, Amber.
yeah. Well, Van Richten scratches his chin and says, what did this person say to you, this Dracula?
He has a plan for getting out.
No. Getting out?
Yes.
Yes. I've worked my whole life. I've sacrificed more than you could ever know to get him here and stay here and hopefully, if possible, slay him. Get out. What is his plan to get out? We must foil it.
Well, the party seems to be in agreement that we work together to all get out with his help.
No, you and I will remain here as he shall.
It is hard to disagree, my friend. I feel that he is as evil, if not more so, than Strahd, but he has helped us so far, and I could feel no aggression in him. I don't think I could have defeated him at that time, and I don't know if I will be able.
It's not a matter of defeating him. We've won already. This is it. We just have to foil his plans of escape, if that's even possible, which I don't think it is, because you've seen Strahd, master of this land, perish. And this trap is still here, so even if Strahd's soul is trapped somehow in the afterlife of this land, he's still trapped here if he finds a way back. The trap still remains. We can't allow the trap to be undone. I'm sorry that you're here. I'm sorry that I'm here, but our fates lie, and our bones will lie in Barovian soil.
If that is the right thing to do, I would, and I believe you might be right, and that is our calling. If we have this opportunity, we shouldn't let it escape us.
What is this plan?
Do you know anything of the Crystal Heart that is in Strahd's castle?
No.
Apparently it has some connection, some tie to his hold on the land, and we believe that is part of the curse. Dracula has this power, this ability, this thing that he says he can use to either destroy or neutralize this power that Strahd has. But beyond that, he cannot share what can or will happen, which I believe to be some manner of evil.
Partway through saying all that, I would like Mr. Jeeves and Alexandra to roll perception checks. Natural
Well,
one.
Alex doesn't hear a thing. It's probably for the better that she doesn't overhear this, because she'll be pissed.
Mr. Jeeves, perception.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not worried about Jeeves.
Roll a 20. Roll a 20 and tell Alex every word. God damn it.
Ooh. No, Mr. Jeeves doesn't hear either. So the full explanation is there to Rudolph Van Richten, and he looks at you with the most steely determination you've ever seen in this old man's eyes. And he says, "We must destroy that heart. Strahd is not in his castle. This is the time that we need to do this now." And he says, "We need to get Esmeralda here now and do this. Just you, me, and her. I don't know if Alexandra can be trusted. We need to do this now. Now. Tonight. Now."
Pushy.
Bum, bum.
Whatever this plan is, it cannot allow to happen. Even if he is destroyed here, I will not risk his soul escaping this place. Even if my soul has to spend eternity with him, he will not leave this place.
You are so lucky Alex can't hear a word of it.
So Elias nods his head and he closes his eyes and he just barely audibly says, "I'm sorry, Sypha." And he raises his head and he says, "Van Richten, I believe you are right. We must go."
I'm ready when you are. And Esmeralda will be with us. And that's where we'll leave it. Tune in next week as we see the schism form between those who want out of this place and those who will fight to keep us here.
Wow, that's pretty interesting.
Oh, it's a good thing Jack's not overhearing any of this, too, because he'd probably be pissed.
Mm-hmm. He'd probably come back from whatever he's doing and jumping back in the game.
Unfortunately, I don't think Logan's going to be with us for a while, but
Yeah.
that's a whole nother thing. Like, even if he's not with us, Logan's character will continue.
Yeah.
I have plans that Jack is already in on, or that Logan is already in on for Jack, that will work out just fine. So even if he's not an active player, Jack has been an excellent character. I love Jack deeply, and you will see more from Jack in the future, whether Logan is able to contribute or not.
Glad to hear it. Jack is an awesome character.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not say all of that about his patron, where he gets his powers, and the last words that he had to say to you. Those were not things that were off the cuff. Those had purpose to them. That and more lie in your future, and we will see what happens on the next episode of Castlevania Ravenloft RPG. All right.